Welcome back to Nomadic Recovery, and my name is Sean. I'm back here. It's been a while. I won't take too much of your time, but just to give you a little breakdown of what's going on, trying to refocus on the channel. It's been a couple of years, really, since I've done anything of any real amount of hiking. I was living up in Brooksville, Florida, and I've been working out of my RV, traveling, doing that nomadic life, but I kind of got sucked back into town. And the reason is always the same: money. You need money to do everything we do. So I'm also an insurance adjuster, and we got hit with a couple really good hurricanes, as everybody knows, here in Florida in the last few years. And I kind of settled down in Brooksville, parked my motorhome, and just worked out of it, driving back and forth fairly close by. It was really convenient. Made some money, paid some things off, this and that, but that ran out. That company went out of business, lost the account, and then the hurricanes, the work eventually ended. And I found myself like, do I want to be up here anymore? I need to save more money. And more to the point for this video channel originally was an idea, it still is, of nomadic life, hiking, boondocking, traveling, just trying to live simple. When I started this, I was living out of my back of my Pathfinder, gradually got a teardrop, and I've, through the years, been able to travel and hike around the country. But it's always trying to find a way to make money to do that, because I don't have a passive income. That's the difficult part. It takes a certain amount of money to be on a trail if you're gonna do a through hike. We can do a breakdown video of that, but bottom line is I didn't have a passive income that was working while I was out there hiking, so I got to keep coming back to work. And what is my work? Music. I play music for a living. Tampa Bay area has a lot of it's really a pretty good scene for cover music, cover bands, solo acts, playing on the beach. And I do all that, and I've always done all that, but I also was doing the insurance just because that makes better money. Music doesn't make great money. So, but what I realized is what I already knew. The bigger your rig gets, the more contracts you take on, the more you get locked into one spot, the more you have to stay, the more gear you gotta buy, and eventually you're just working to stay in one place again. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. I haven't been doing insurance adjusting because I'm just kind of over it, and I just want to get back to simpler life. So I've got a room here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm renting from a friend, and trying to reset. And during that time, the other part of nomadic recovery is the recovery part. And I've had some complaints from some people who like, hey, you're not in recovery. You're obviously an alcoholic, or you're still drinking or whatever. And that is true. To me, the nomadic part of getting out there into the woods, hiking, exploring, it's a spiritual thing that is good for me, good for anyone. And that's kind of the message I'm bringing, is that you can recover from substances, but also just counteract modern day life by getting to nature. And so the more I do that, the more I'm not doing other things, right? And for me, being a lifelong musician, drinking beer, especially during the gigs, it's just part of it. I've talked about this before, where I show up, I set up the PA, set up my amps, plug in my guitar, tune my guitar, and grab a beer. It's just part of the process. It's been that way since I was just out of high school. So that's a hard habit to break. And what happened to me, in October was I got a second DUI. And I wasn't driving, I was parked, but counts as a DUI. And I'd come from helping a friend set up a show in downtown St. Pete, and I was trying to get home because I knew I was like, and this is the alcohol thinking, I knew I was drinking too much, so I better get home. So instead of getting an Uber, I tried to get home, and I got a flat tire, and all things went wrong. So that that really woke me up. I'm going through that process now. It's very expensive. I had to spend a night in jail. and you start going through counseling and start going through the classes and all things you got to do. And I just went, you know what, it's time to quit drinking. I don't have a choice at this moment, but I will have a choice in the future, when you're off of probation and all that stuff, you can go back to it. But what I realized is I've gone from doing through hikes and being extremely healthy and happy to gradually getting pulled with bills and life, and to do more work. I need a new phone, and then I need a new ladder, and I need to do this. It all costs money. I better do more work in a local spot. And eventually, I used to live off of $600 a month. That was great. And now it's, of course, 4 times that much, 5 times that much. So it's time to reset. And I'm going to focus more on this channel, hopefully. I can't get out immediately and do through hikes. I got to save up some more cash for my next through hike. My next one's going to be, I hope, the Arizona Trail. That's my goal in 27, first part of the year. But to do that, I've got to get all these things paid for and get build up that little nesting again, and really spend some months, a year away from drinking anything. And I feel so much better. And if you struggle with substance abuse or substances, I'm not going to say whether you're an alcoholic or you're this or that. I don't like labels at all. It's one of the reasons I don't like AA. I don't like labels. But I will say that the more I get away from town, the more I get away from bills, the more I get away from those stresses, the better I feel. Of course, everybody does. So that's my goal, but also to use this channel for the first time. I've never made this channel to try to fund anything or, have Patreon or any of that, but I'm making a shift with that. I'm going to try to make this my business, because I'm one of the people that wants to get out there and do it. I mean, I do it. I know not everybody can or wants to go find some crazy trail in the middle of Montana, but I freaking love that. So my only thing holding me back is a means to get it done. I feel like if I can give some more value to this channel for people, for hiking, for the idea of nomadic recovery, for well-being, if that gives some value to you guys, I'm asking for your help to build this thing up, to make it something that I can get a little bit of money out of, to continue to do what I want to do and make more videos, more hiking, more discussions about alcohol and substance abuse and things like that. I guess the bottom line is this. Look, everybody's got their things. Everybody's got baggage. A lot of people have issues with substances because it's very hard not to. Besides whatever personal, genetic dispositions or whatever, life is hard. Modern life is extremely hard. We have some things that are much better than ancient life, but the cost of that is high levels of stress, high levels of disease, not moving, depression, anxiety, all those things. So I know for me anyway, and maybe not everybody's quite as sensitive to this as me, but I think everybody's the same in that they benefit from it. When you get in the woods and you just hear the wind blowing and the birds, or if you're walking for a few days, you got nothing to do but walk, you think all your stuff out, you start to reconnect with your environment, because we're really out of our environment here in modern life. If you reconnect with your environment, I believe you're reconnecting with the Creator, because you're seeing natural creation without manipulation, without degradation of modern things. We spend all of our time on screens and all that stuff. So that's my goal, guys. I want to try to get out there, and I'm going to be right up front about it. I'm going to use this channel to try to build it, to make an income from it in a variety of means. And in exchange for that, I'm going to try to offer the best product I can, videos and conversation and community that might help people like me. And honestly, I think it will help people of all stations in life because everybody's stressed. If you don't have a drinking problem, that's awesome, but you have maybe a stress problem, maybe you're not moving enough. Maybe you don't realize that there's amazing places to see in our country. Just talking about the US right now. Places that I get into or people can get into that don't even know exist, that are beautiful and remote, and just take you back to another time when humans were more connected to the dirt, more connected to the trees, to the animals, just fresh air. Excuse me. That's my goal here. So in that sense, I'm going to be eventually try to build subscribers. So if you like this stuff that I'm going to be doing or what I've done, I'm going to break down my Florida hikes and other hikes that I've done in the past, break them up into smaller pieces, I think, because I think a lot of the footage doesn't get watched. Now I realize, most people don't watch a YouTube video for an hour and a half. So I'm going to have that hour and a half of sections of the hikes, but I'm going to break it down into smaller pieces too, so maybe other people can see it and share it, move over to Instagram, these things, that kind of thing. I'm not really great at this social media stuff, but I'm putting my heart and soul into this business, and that is this channel. So if you like what I've done in the past or have suggestions or whatever, subscribe if you haven't, please do. It helps a fellow hiker, alcoholic, to try to stay sober and just get out there and do the things to stay healthy, to maybe help share that. Somebody told me once, it's very true, that you can't share what you don't have, right? So you need to have a cup full of health and well-being, and then you can share that with others. And I think that's really where I want to go with the rest of my life. I've got some ideas about being a wellness coach and things like that. If I've got to get some education. I also really have a craving to do like wilderness skills training, things like that I'm going to try to bring into the channel. But right now, just to let you know I'm back. Appreciate you guys. Anybody that's watched this, I've only got I've 100 and something followers, and you guys always have nice things to say. Again, I put almost zero effort into this channel. And that's going to change now. So we're going to try to do the YouTube, I hate the word influencer, but YouTube creator, let's put it that way. And it's focused on getting healthy and the experience of doing that through hiking, exploring, nomadic living, how to live for free out of your van living, van dwelling, things like that. I've done a lot of that stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to share some of that and you'll like it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.